You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, Jasper County CASA hosts Career Day to show kids in foster care their future possibilities.
Also, authorities in Stark, Kansas have made an arrest in connection with a homicide.
And while we've got a nice looking sunrise out there, thunderstorms are building across southeastern Kansas. We'll have a look at that and what the expectations are for the rest of our Monday coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's just after 7 o'clock now on this Monday, August the 11th. Back to school starts for some kids by Wednesday. So a lot going on. Of course, we got our thunderstorms this morning. And speaking of back to school, an organization helping some teens in the area.
Yes. As Chris mentioned, a local organization based in Joplin is encouraging young teens to prepare for their future.
KOAM's Mitch Adams has more.
The Jasper County Court-appointed Special Advocates host a career day dedicated to empowering young individuals in foster care and those overcoming personal and educational challenges. The career day exposes kids in the foster system who have had personal struggles to the idea of college and the workforce.
Yeah, we've got a crazy resource fair. We've got 19 people from the community, and so they can just walk around, ask questions, ask, potential job leads, stuff like that. I mean, we've got a beauty school, we've got technical schools, we've got an Air Force recruiter, really something for everybody.
This event is more than just a gathering. It's a stepping stone towards a brighter future for many young individuals.
A lot of our kids have never had much chance of choice of anything. So now they're about to get a big choice, and we want to inspire, let them think about different things. So therefore our speakers, and it's a small enough group that our resources can really interact one-on-one with them. So we're hoping to light some fires today for some kids.
Reporting in Joplin, Missouri, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Now, organizers say that although this is the inaugural Career Day event, they are already looking forward to doing it again next year.
Yeah, certainly very important there, and especially get these kids, get them in front of those potential jobs, help them figure out what their next step is.
They might not even know what's out there for them, and they just need someone to kind of put them on the right path.
Yeah, I mean, it can be challenging, so a lot of options are available.
There certainly are.
And we've got a lot of rain across the area, especially again into southeast Kansas this morning. We're going to first start, though, with a look outside downtown Pittsburgh, which had rain, which you can see the roads are still a little wet from that, but not having rain right now, but that could change in the next hour or so with a batch of showers and thunderstorms pushing through the area. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking pretty good as well. Roads have dried out in Joplin. We did have some severe weather last night. No severe weather this morning, which is certainly some good news, but we do have some storms out there that have been producing some small hail here and there and a lot of lightning. We're at 215 lightning strikes, but to give you an idea, if you weren't with us on the KOAM Morning News side, we're at a peak of nearly 500 lightning strikes, maybe 30, 45 minutes ago. So the decrease in lightning overall is a good sign that these storms are beginning to weaken a bit, but we still have some heavy showers and storms out there. We got one almost right over Caney, some near Independence, Mound Valley, just to the west of Parsons. And you see there's this purplish color in some of these storms. And it doesn't always indicate this, but sometimes can indicate hail. And again, we've been seeing some this morning. If you look close, okay. Now, don't get me wrong, radar is shooting at a certain level. The hail that's falling may not be this big, but you see these darker blues, we're right about at what would be considered significant weather advisory criteria. So about 0.8 of an inch in diameter here, just to north of or northwest of Cherry, south of Thayer. So do be aware that these storms are producing some hail. They could intensify. If they do, we'll certainly let you know. But Erie, Parsons, Mound Valley, you're going to be up next. Chanute, you're in it. Yates Center, starting to wind down a bit, slowly but surely for you. But all of this activity is continuing. It was lifting east now, or pushing east. Now it's kind of lifting a little more northeast out there. So we'll monitor it. The expectation, though, is still in the next couple of hours that it should begin to die down, and we'll have a pause before we see additional development of scattered storms rolling into the afternoon and evening. Not expecting severe weather with that activity, but if that changes too, we will certainly let you know. Temperatures now near normal, upper 60s and low 70s. Our temperatures, again, these are going to be a generalization depending on how fast you clear, how much sunshine you get, how long the rain lingers. These may vary from place to place, but about the mid 70s by 9, low 80s by noon, and highs for most of us in the low 90s. Heat index values today could could reach 100 degrees. We're going to have another look at the thunderstorms we've got right now, talk about our storms later today, and what else we're expecting this week here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, authorities have a Bourbon County man in custody as they investigate a homicide in Stark, Kansas. KBI and the Neosho County Sheriff's Office have 45-year-old Luke Shepard of Uniontown in custody in the Neosho County Jail, where he is booked on first-degree murder. A 911 call Saturday shortly before 7 p.m. reported a disturbance at a residence in Stark. When deputies arrived, they observed blood on the front porch and found 65-year-old Scott Stevens of Stark deceased. An investigation identified Shepard as the suspect. He had fled the scene and was arrested at his home in Uniontown without incident. Formal charges against Shepard are pending. And a Joplin woman faces DWI charges after crashing into a traffic signal pole Saturday night. Police say the driver was traveling north on Schifferdecker Avenue when she crossed all lanes of traffic and struck the pole at the intersection of Jung and 13th Street. The crash happened just after 9:45 p.m. The woman suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to a local hospital. Joplin police and fire responded along with Met's ambulance. And 3 people, including a child, were hurt in a 3-vehicle crash in Carterville Saturday evening. The accident happened just before 7 p.m. at the intersection of Highway AA and Highway HH. Now, police say one vehicle turning south on Highway AA was T-boned by a car traveling east on Highway HH. The impact caused the struck vehicle to spin and hit a stop sign before colliding with a third car. All 3 victims were taken to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And 3 crashes hit I-49 within an hour last night as summer rain created dangerous driving conditions. The crashes happened between 6:53 and 7:42 p.m. Along the Newton-Jasper County corridor. A motorcyclist crashed near the 38-mile marker and was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. 27 minutes later, a rollover crash occurred near the 32-mile marker. 2 people refused medical treatment. And the final crash happened when a car slid into the median near the 249-mile marker. Police remind drivers that hot summer pavement brings oils and grease to the surface, and when rain hits, roads become extremely slippery. Drivers should slow down during wet conditions and check tire tread regularly for safety. A 63-year-old Joplin man has died following a late-night bicycle versus vehicle crash. Now, just before 10 p.m. Saturday night, authorities were alerted to a westbound collision on West 7th Street near Black Cat Road in Jasper County. Carl Junction Fire, Jasper County deputies, and Met's ambulance responded. The crash involved a passenger car and a man on a bicycle. Authorities say the car struck the bike from behind. The bicyclist was in the lane of travel. The 63-year-old bicyclist from Joplin was pronounced deceased. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Republicans are threatening more punitive action against some Democrats in Texas's redistricting standoff Friday after again failing to reach a quorum, stalling a GOP-led effort to redraw the state's congressional maps. Sherelle Hubbard has more.
There being 95 members present, a quorum is not present.
On Friday, some House Democrats did not appear for the special session at the Texas state capitol, preventing a Republican-led plan to redraw congressional maps. The political tug-of-war has been going on all week since Texas State House Democrats fled the state to prevent a vote on the controversial redistricting maps, which could lead to Republicans gaining several seats in Congress.
If you approve this map, it will be one more nail in the coffin of democracy.
Thursday, a state Senate committee voted to advance a new proposed congressional district map to the full Senate, despite opposition from the public. Some of those opposed to the new maps say it is gerrymandering and based on the racial makeup of its communities.
This map may have been drawn race blind, but it is in fact going to hurt communities of color.
The governor of Texas has called for the removal of all absentee Democrats from office. There have been threats of arrest and restrictions on pay to compel Democrats to return to the state. And Texas's House Speaker threatening suspension of direct deposit Friday.
Those checks must now be picked up in person on Capitol grounds, effective immediately.
No word on when these House Democrats will return to Texas.
Why don't we try to win elections based upon policy and issues rather than engaging in these ridiculous redistricting games?
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, how one medical facility looks to help combat the opioid crisis that's facing our nation. And later, we're going to meet the world's tiniest artists. Thousands of flies create paintings with sugar water mixed with paint. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Time now, 7:10. We'll be right back. People have died from drug overdose in 2023, and nearly 80,000 of those deaths involve opioids. One medical group looks to help decrease those numbers in our area. We have Lisa McAllister and Brenda Arnold from the Behavioral Health Group with us this morning to share how their mission is to help those battling addiction. Welcome to you, ladies, both for being with us this morning and joining us, talking about something that affects so many lives differently. Talk to me a little bit about how what you're seeing in Joplin specifically when it comes to opioid addiction. Of course, statewide, it is the #1 cause of death between 18-year-olds to 44-year-olds. So what are you seeing in Joplin?
Right now, we're seeing an increase in fentanyl. Fentanyl is they are lacing everything with fentanyl, even the marijuana. We encourage people, if you're going to buy marijuana, at least buy it legally and from a dispensary that you know it's safe. Fentanyl, methamphetamines is being laced with fentanyl. There's not any heroin on the streets anymore. So, of course, the fentanyl is one little dose can kill you.
Yes.
So what Behavioral Health Group does is we're a medicated assistant treatment facility, which we treat opiates with methadone, which is an opiate itself. So people can get stabilized in the brain and figure out why they started using drugs. And with that wraparound treatment, we have counselors, community support specialists, office managers, nurses, doctors. So they have to come in, you get dosed every day, you have to see a counselor and a peer support. So, and then eventually after a year or two, then hopefully we can taper one off the methadone.
Right.
But with that assisted treatment, some people need it with the fentanyl being so strong.
Absolutely. And talk to me a little bit, Brenda, too, if you wouldn't mind chiming in. For someone who's watching this right now and knows a loved one who might be experiencing this, what would you say is the first step that you would encourage family members of loved ones who are experiencing this to take?
I would just say, just encourage them to talk to somebody that can help, like, come to Behavioral Health Group, and we will kind of help them set out a treatment plan and
certainly. And if people want to go ahead and do that, talk to me a little bit about where people can find the resources, where they can set up an appointment, find out more additional information.
Yeah, we're BHG. We're on 4th Street at 2919 East 4th. Give us a call at 782-7966. We'll do an assessment, set up an appointment. We take walk-ins. Just walking through that door is a hard thing, but know that we do not judge. We welcome you with open arms. And sometimes, patients have to let us carry them until they learn to carry themselves. And nothing is more beautiful than watching someone, the light bulb just click. Watching that methadone setting in and stabilizing the brain, and then working and just watching someone say, I think I get it.
So well said. Well, life-saving work you all are doing. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 7:19 now on this Monday morning. We've still got some thunderstorms out there, but again, they are beginning to calm down a bit, and that's still the expectation over the next couple of hours. They should begin to weaken and exit the area or just straight up fall apart. So where we still have some heavier rain now entering Labette County, Parsons, Mound Valley, down to Edna, getting in on it right now. And Oswego, you will be up next. in Chitopa, this may clip the northern part of it. It depends on how well the southern end of this thing does. And we have still been picking up on some sub-severe hail, so nothing at severe limits, but just over half-inch diameter hail, at least based on radar. It could be a bit smaller by the time it reaches the ground, but you can see those little purple squares up there. That's all indicating where we're getting at least some isolated small hail across the area for these storms. We had up around Erie, Thayer, north of Parsons, getting in on heavy rain. Lightning strikes, still 264 lightning strikes, all associated with this cluster right here that's stretching back from Allen, Neosho, and Labette counties. 245 now lightning strikes with this activity. So still very electrical storms, and while these storms are not severe, that lightning is still dangerous and can be deadly. So do be cautious as you're heading out this morning. So again, this has all congealed down, all of this, to just this right here, which was lifting northeast, but take a look at the last couple of minutes of the radar. It looks like it might be trying to turn easterly again. So we'll see exactly what happens. Either way, this activity should begin to wind down as we head into the late morning hours, and then we'll have maybe an isolated shower or two, some mostly cloudy skies. We'll have a brief moment. Well, okay, it's about a 3-4 hour window, but in terms of the 24-hour period, it's a brief moment of today where we'll be dry before we see additional thunderstorm development later this evening across the area. As of right now, not anticipating anything strong or severe with this activity. But we will have at least some scattered storms late this evening, overnight, and into the first part of our Tuesday. Now, by Tuesday, still scattered storms out there, but as we head into Tuesday afternoon, you can see they become a lot more isolated to widely scattered as we head into the afternoon. Then we start gearing down toward more of the isolated storms, and then eventually just some pop-up storms. So outside 7th and Rangeline Joplin, you can see the clouds. It's a dark sky off to the west where those thunderstorms are. And again, scattered storms. A thing I really want to emphasize is these temperatures. We have a 15 county area, okay, and I can't put up 15 different temperature grids for each hour of the day. This is a generalization. Some of you, especially further east, may be a bit warmer. Others, where the cloud cover, the rain is, and where that cloud cover really sticks around, may be a bit cooler. But we're looking about the low 70s to start and upper 70s by 11 o'clock. So what I did is we're kind of taking a generalization, an average of temperatures around the area. But I do, again, want to emphasize some of you may be a bit cooler, especially our northwestern counties where it's been raining pretty consistently. It's also where some of the thicker cloud cover is expected. You may not make the low 90s. You may try and get close, but you may not make it. Otherwise, low 90s today, and we could still see heat index values today, even tomorrow, up to 100 degrees. So don't let the cloud cover, the rain this morning, fool you. It could still get all that rain, it's going to be very muggy later today. Temperatures, again, these are going to be tempered by the clouds, but eventually down to about 70 with those scattered storms late this evening into the overnight hours. Again, isolated, scattered storms in the morning, isolated by the afternoon. Highs low 90s through Thursday, mid 90s into the weekend. Pop-up storm chances here and there. Our temperatures, yeah, they get hot, but not significantly above average, which is definitely some good news. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with more right after this. Well, a new art exhibition in New York is creating a lot of buzz.
Michael George shows us how insects are being used to create beautiful works of art.
In this enclosure, hundreds of thousands of flies are hard at work. They may not look like it, but these are artists, and their paintings have crowds of art fans buzzing.
You know, the first fly paintings I did were about 15 years ago.
Conceptual artist John Knuth uses common houseflies to create paintings. He does it by feeding them sugar water mixed with paint.
Flies are in a constant state of regurgitation. Anytime they land on a surface, they regurgitate, suck it back in, regurgitate, suck it back in, and that's how they leave the mark behind.
The process may sound random, but Knuth says he can actually direct the flies as they paint millions of tiny dots.
I can't tell the flies where to land exactly, but I know where I'll get densities of paint, where the cup of paint is. So the flies go to where the cup of paint is, and then they land closest to the food source.
Knuth's latest series is called The Hot Garden, on display at Hollis Taggart downtown in New York. The paintings take inspiration from the devastating Southern California wildfires earlier this year, which also destroyed Knuth's home.
the hot garden becomes not only the metaphor for Altadena, where my home was, but also sort of this heating climate we're in.
Unfortunately, this is a case where the art outlived the artists. All the flies who created these paintings have already died. Their lifespan is only a few weeks. Knuth says the houseflies are treated well, and ingesting paint doesn't affect their lifespan.
I've developed a warm spot in my heart for the flies. You know, they're fascinating animals. They're really important to the ecosystem.
A blend of nature and art, with the world's tiniest artists holding the paintbrush.
Well, the hot garden is on display at Hollis Taggart downtown in New York until August the 16th. Interesting indeed.
I don't think I'd be into it. I know art's subjective,
I'm sure the art looks great. Watching it take place, I don't know.
Not my thing. Well, coming up, deadly storms slam parts of the Midwest as nearly 47,000 lose power and families watch floodwater invade their homes.
And we've got our own storms we're tracking this morning. Not severe, but some producing some small hail. We'll have a look at your forecast when we come back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. I'm Elise Snowy. All signs and honks show community division. Protesters gather for 6 weeks straight to voice opposition to immigration enforcement raids. Samantha Boring shares how these residents show up every weekend to make their voices heard.
Every sign, every honk. Boots on the Ground Midwest organizer Nancy Mays says the honks and signs are both ways people are showing up.
It's really indicative of what people feel. Like, this is the pulse of what's happening in our community.
For 6 weeks on the corner of 80th and Metcalf, these men and women have continued to come and make their voices heard.
Our country is falling apart.
This is Heather Simons.
Woo!
She's been here every Saturday pushing for change. She worked for the federal government and feels what is happening with cuts isn't right.
When those services, when people can't access them, they're really upset. That is what's happening when you're eliminating people from the workforce. People aren't able to access services that improve their lives.
Say it loud, say it clear. Saturday's No ICE protests mainly focused on supporting the immigrant community. KCTV5 reached out to the Department of Homeland Security as people prepared to protest the recent raids. Regarding those incidents, it shared in part, quote, ICE was carrying out a criminal federal search warrant to rescue victims of human trafficking. Adding ICE law enforcement are seeing an 830% increase in assaults as they carry out operations. While people stand firm on both sides, Boots on the Ground Midwest is hoping to try and teach everyone about immigration and other big topics in America right now.
So we want to wake people up, let them know what's happening so they can make educated, informed decisions.
Well, now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. It's also available on our news and weather apps as well as our website, the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Well, a weekend model train show and swap meet took place at the Joplin History and Mineral Museum. The train show allows train hobbyists to come together and buy, sell, and trade their items. Booths were set up where sellers and enthusiasts could set up train models to display them to attendees. Organizers say that shows like this bring together a niche community and allow people to find others with similar interests.
And a lot of times model trains are passed down from one generation to the other. You'll find model trains at these shows that may be 100 years old or so, where somebody passed it on down and they find it in their attic or in their basement, set it up and do a little cleaning on it, and they run.
All train enthusiasts are welcome to the show, whether you are a beginner or a lifelong enjoyer. The train show and swap meet will return to the Joplin Museum on November 8th of this year. Let's head over now to Chris with the full look at your forecast.
Yeah, we are continuing to track showers and thunderstorms out there. Starting though with a live look downtown Pittsburgh. Got those cloudy skies across the area as more storms may be on the way. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking back north. The roads are dry in Joplin, and they may remain that way at least through the morning hours because we got this cluster of thunderstorms. Lightning's come down 174 strikes, but keep in mind all of that lightning is between that thunderstorm complex from Allen, Neosho down to Lebec County. And we've also been getting some small hail with some of these. Those purples there, they indicate heavy rain, and occasionally they can indicate hail, and you can see where we do have some. And just checking on the size of that hail, and you can well, it did not load. I apologize. Let me try that again. Okay, so it's down just under ½ inch. So again, it's below severe limits, but we have been getting small hail with these storms. Oh, and that latest scan just picked that up a bit. See if the hail changed. No, it did not. So that's good, though. We don't want it to change, but that's some very heavy rain north of Oswego. Heavy showers, thunderstorms to the east of Erie, and then down south of Thayer, stretching up toward Ellsmore, south of Moran, and east of Humboldt. This activity had been rolling north and east, but it seems in the last few frames it may be trying to take a slight easterly jaunt, and that may just be some of the development that's taking place. It may still be moving northeast. So Pittsburgh, probably going to get the storms. Fort Scott as well and points north, but if it continues its track, it's going to keep it out of the Joplin area. Could get some in Columbus, maybe, if we get any additional development like we're seeing back here into Newata County. This activity still expected to die out in the next, let's see, it's 7:30, so in the next about 3 hours or so. A few lingering showers, mostly cloudy skies, and then we'll see additional scattered showers and storms as we head into the evening and overnight hours out there. Quick look at our temperatures. We've got upper 60s and low 70s, so right about normal. These temperatures really not moving all that much this morning. Now again, because of the rain and the clouds, these temperatures are averages. Some of you may be a little cooler, especially our northwestern counties, but mid 70s by 9, low 80s by noon, low 90s for our highs. But again, out northwest, you may make the upper 80s for your highs. Heat index values, though, today still could reach 100, so don't let the clouds and rain fool you. It's still going to be muggy. We'll talk more about our rain chances tonight into tomorrow and, of course, about our heat here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks, and don't forget to be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Sky Watch weather app. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Well, violent weather tore through several Midwest states this weekend. In Nebraska, at least one person is dead and hundreds of inmates relocated after powerful winds tore through the roof of a housing unit at the state penitentiary in Lincoln. And there were up to 12 inches in some parts of Wisconsin, leading to many water rescues, along with a state of emergency in Milwaukee County. Megan DeMar has the latest.
Ferocious storms brought heavy rain and dangerous winds overnight.
Water is everywhere.
Hardest hit Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where some areas got more than a foot of rain, falling so hard and fast it seemed to catch many by surprise. These drivers were stuck in and on top of submerged cars. Rescue crews brought some to safety, but this person didn't want to wait.
This flooding event, it's very significant. It's something that Milwaukee hasn't seen in perhaps a decade or more.
Are you going in with your socks? In West Allis, Wisconsin, west of Milwaukee, rising floodwater shut down the state fair.
What room is destroyed?
Some floodwater found its way into homes throughout the region. Nearly 47,000 customers lost power.
And our neighbor's trampoline is in the tree.
In Nebraska, 80-mile-per-hour gusts snapped tree limbs, killing a woman in her car. The same storms damaged a state prison, forcing hundreds of inmates to relocate, and ripped open a Dollar General warehouse. Back in Wisconsin, in a Milwaukee suburb, the flood risk remains as rivers have yet to crest. Many people are concerned about new flooding in this area tonight.
Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, strangers help bring the classic muscle car back to life after its owner's death. Time now, 7:38. We'll be right back. Well, in Consumer Watch, the U.S. Postal Service has proposed a temporary price hike this upcoming holiday season for some Priority and Ground Advantage package services for retail and commercial customers. The increased range from $30 to $16, depending on the zone and weight of the parcels. In a statement, the company says the price adjustments will, quote, help cover extra handling costs to ensure a successful peak season. Well, horror film Weapons topped the weekend box office, hauling in more than $42 million million. It beat out the long-awaited sequel Free Here Friday, which debuted at number 2, and the Fantastic Four: First Steps is still soaring at the 3rd spot. And those are our top consumer stories this morning. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 7:43 coming up on 7:44 on this. What is this, Monday morning? It's been a Monday for sure. We still have thunderstorms out there. Lightning count about 187, but again, it is all associated only with these thunderstorms here, which we are going to take a tour of. So now we've got a little guy here in western Craig County. He's got about 3 lightning strikes with him there, so he's a bit to the south and west of Welch by about, as you can see, about 12 miles or so. And then as we head back up toward the north, we have heavier showers and thunderstorms into Lebec County around Oswego, Parsons, McCune, and we've got a good focus of lightning here. In fact, in this zone alone, this lightning count, as you can see, is 37 on these lightning strikes out there, and that's in a pretty confined area. On top of that, we are still getting some hail. It's small hail. It's not severe limits by any means, and that's really how it's been all morning, is small hail. But we're about, on average, about half an inch size hail with this portion of the storm. We drag this up around McCune, and you can see not as much hail there, but still some small hail, and some up north of McCune as well. And we'll take the radar up north where we've still got heavy rain. Girard, you're getting in on some of it. You got more off to your west. Erie, you're in the thick of it now, but it will begin to ease up. Yates Center and Iola, you've got the Chinook, Buffalo, Fredonia. You got some moderate rainfall, but the thunderstorm activity finally letting up. And then around here, west of Fort Scott near Hepler, south of Uniontown, we've got some heavier thunderstorms. And even so, that's what I was saying. Those purples don't always indicate hail. It's sometimes just heavy rain, but occasionally it can indicate some small hail, but nothing being picked up there. So this is the complex, and it's been lifting north and east. And I know in the last couple of frames there, it kind of looked like it was trying to turn easterly, but I do believe it is still just lifting north and east. We've just had some additional development down to the south. Now, some of this new one here in Craig County, is trying to push a little to the west. In fact, it's kind of generating off of an outflow boundary. It's been generated by these storms. That's that little line you see there. So we could get, if this does track northeast, we're talking right along and north of I-44 over the next about 3 hours or so. We could get some additional scattered storms, not anticipating any further severe weather. We haven't had any severe thunderstorm warnings at all in our area since last night, and the last warnings we had were with this complex, but that was back when it was by Wichita. So things have definitely eased up a bit, but still a lot of lightning, still a lot of heavy rain. Still got to watch out for at least the potential for flash flooding. No flash flood warnings either, but if you know your route's prone to it, just be aware with all that heavy rain, that's a possibility. This expectation, again, by 10, 11 o'clock, most of this dies down. Could have a lingering shower or two. We'll have a momentary pause, and then about 5 o'clock this evening, additional development of new scattered storms will begin. Not anticipating any severe weather with this activity either, but again, we'll monitor that for you. And it will continue overnight into early Tuesday morning. In the first part of our Tuesday, you can see we've got scattered storms, but as we roll into the afternoon and evening hours, it becomes a bit more widely scattered or even isolated in nature. And so it'll start to wind down, and then we start converting ourselves kind of to pop-up storm chances following Tuesday. So again, scattered storms, remember these temperatures will be impacted by your cloud cover and the rainfall, but on average, low 70s by 8 and near 80 by 11 o'clock this morning. And most of us are looking at highs in the low 90s, but some of our northwestern counties, especially where it's going to be cloudy for a little cloudier for a little longer, you may only make the upper 80s. And we're looking at heat index values today. They could approach 100 degrees. Same tomorrow. Low 90s again tomorrow. Low 90s through Thursday. Mid 90s into the weekend. Pop-up storms through Friday. And again, through the week, our heat index values could approach 100 degrees. So do keep that in mind. That is a check of your forecast. We'll be back with more right after this.
A 61-year-old Michigan man passes away, but he was so close to finishing a restoration project of his favorite muscle car from the 1970s.
And an automotive shop in his community dropped everything to get the classic Roadrunner back on the road for the family ahead of Richard's funeral. Peter Maxwell shows how a little kindness can go a long way.
Just for this chance encounter that Ryan had, met Roy and his whole operation, that none of this would have come together.
We used to call it the rolling chassis. That's what he did.
61-year-old Richard Wilson had a love for classic cars, especially his 1970 Roadrunner in limelight green. But for the last 25 years, the Roadrunner was not running, even after putting a new engine in nearly 2 years ago.
We never got it running because it still had a lot of things that needed to be sorted out.
But Richard was determined to get his beloved Roadrunner running. And he did, but passed away on Sunday, never being able to get behind the wheel and take it for a ride.
He was able to hear it run for the first time in 25 years on Friday, right before he passed on Sunday.
He was right there. I mean, it was like the 10-yard line.
Still wanting to see his stepdad's dream come true, Ryan Chaskin made a call to Roy at Motor City Solutions, an auto shop known for their passion of restoring classic cars. Roy said they could help without hesitation.
Let's get the car here. You know, that's what we do.
The mission? To ensure this beloved classic muscle car is ready in time for Richard's funeral, his final farewell, and a chance for it to head to the Woodward Dream Cruise, Richard's goal this year. Roy and the team at Motor City Solutions making the family's dream a reality.
Didn't think it was going to happen, in all fairness.
Well, we got it pretty much sorted out. It is drivable, but it does need some attention.
The family came in for the big reveal, seeing Richard's Roadrunner on the road again.
It's great to see it go. These guys did a great job. It sounds great. Better than I've ever heard it.
This was awesome.
He's looking down on us right now, blown away with excitement. I know he is.
It's incredible.
That certainly is a beautiful story, moving story, and just fantastic that they were able to get it up and going again.
Yes.
We've got the Skywatch Storm Tracker up and running this morning as we continue to monitor thunderstorms across southeastern Kansas. And again, nothing severe out there, but some of these storms have been producing some small hail. It's been under severe limits, hence why we've had nothing severe associated with it. The other issue we've had, those a lot of lightning, 150 lightning strikes with this activity as it continues to push off to the east and northeast. So Pittsburgh, Girard, you're getting ready to get in. You see these little purples. That's where you've been getting some small hail. So don't be surprised if you hear it, if it gets a little loud out there this morning. This activity, again, we're getting some development into Craig County, just off of an outflow boundary. This will continue to push northeast, so north of I-44 from now through about, say, 11 o'clock this morning. We'll continue with that. Then we'll have a pause as we head into the afternoon before we see new thunderstorms begin to develop late this evening and overnight. We'll have another look at your forecast and your wake up recap right after this.
Well, this is your wake up recap for August 11th. The top stories to start your day. Authorities have arrested 45-year-old Luke Shepard of Uniontown in connection with a homicide in Stark, Kansas. Shepard is in custody at Neosho County Jail, booked on first-degree murder charges after 65-year-old Scott Stevens was found deceased Saturday evening. Shepard was arrested at his home without incident. Formal charges are pending as the investigation continues. A Joplin woman is facing DWI charges after crashing into a traffic signal pole Saturday night. The incident occurred around 9:45 at the intersection of Schifferdecker Avenue and Jung Street. She crossed all lines before striking the pole and was taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And recent rain has made conditions hazardous. Last night, 3 crashes on Interstate 49 within an hour due to slippery roads. A motorcyclist was hospitalized and a rollover crash occurred shortly after. Police urged drivers to slow down and check tire tread regularly as summer rain can make roads extremely slick. And that's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And again, showers and thunderstorms continuing and through about 11 o'clock. We should have a pause in activity. Our temperatures will be greatly impacted by how much cloud cover you have, though. So some of us low 90s, others, especially in some of our northwestern counties, may only make the upper 80s today. Heat index values could reach 100 degrees, though, for many of us out there. Temperatures again will be impacted by your cloud cover, but falling back to the 70s by 10. Scattered storms start building in after 5, continuing overnight in the low 70s tonight. And as we head through the next few days, isolated to scattered storms or even pop-up storms all the way through Friday, low 90s through Thursday, a little warmer this weekend with more sunshine.
All right, well, 7 months ago, a Malibu man lost hundreds of his paintings, prints, and drawings in the Palisades fire, along with his family home of 45 years. 82-year-old Bruce Sanders has spent the last several months painting in his rented home in West LA. The fruits of his labor on full display at his first art show since the fire at Tag Gallery in Miracle Mile.
The show, aptly called After the Fires, A New Beginning. UCLA has a collection of 18 of Sanders' paintings displayed in the dental school. University Synagogue in Brentwood has a collection of 3 of his works. So very important. It's great to see him getting back to it. It's a lot of loss that took place in the Palisades fire for sure, but he's starting to put everything back together.
Yeah, it's great to see.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.